wish I could make a nice, fun driving vlog every, maybe once a month or once every 2 years, but unfortunately, every fucking day it rains in PA. I'm starting to lose all hope here, I really am. Good afternoon and welcome to the channel. I am starting the vlog pretty clearly here in the Corrado, and today we are going to be doing some shit with cars. The cool thing about this car is it really handles like it's on rails. I mean, you can fit, it's a very light car, and it doesn't feel nose heavy with the VR6, really. I mean, it just grips everywhere. Admittedly, I'm not pushing it that hard because it's an old car, and I mean, it hasn't run in a long time, and I'm just not gonna push it that hard. But even still, I mean, it feels really good. Today's video is not about the, oh, that wasn't that close. Today's video is not about the Corrado or any Volkswagen. It is in fact about the C4 Corvette. We are finally dropping off the red Vette to get wrapped. Why are you still making noise? Huh. I think it's okay. We are dropping off the red Corvette to get wrapped. It shouldn't take Shane too long. It's a pretty small car and it's relatively flat, and I can't wait to show you guys the design. Now, some of you have guessed in the comments correctly what the design is, but even if you know what it is, and it's not too hard to figure out, I've dropped a lot of hints over the past like 3 or 4 weeks of videos, but even if you know what it is, you're still going to be blown away when you see the finished product. So with that being said, let's go. Actually, before we go, I'm going to put the roof on because it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, and because Shane just did the floors in his shop, I can't park the car inside. I know, this poor Vette, it's lived such a hard life. The least he could do is let me park it inside. Now, like we talked about before, this, oh my God, I almost lost my hand. This roof is not in the best shape. You can see there's a giant crack in the glass here. There's a lot of glass missing from that corner. So we're also gonna put a tarp over the roof for extra protection. Unlike the C7 Corvette, where it's very easy, they did a great job on that roof, by the way. Chevy, God, you have to push so fucking hard. On the C7, it's very easy to take the roof off and put it back on. It's just a series of, it's 2 levers behind each visor, just like this, sort of. And then it's 1 hook in the back. There's no screws or anything like that. This is a little bit more complicated. I guess back then they didn't have the proper latch technology, so you have to screw in a bunch of shit. That's where the Allen key comes in, as well as these 2 screws that I have stored in the hatch area. Now, the one cool thing about these is that unlike the C7, which just has a hatch, this has other storage compartments. You'll note it has the original manual in there too, which I think is pretty, I think that's pretty cool. You have to screw in these 2 behind the visor, and then you're done. So it's, I mean, it's not too bad, but it's just not quite as convenient. Oh yeah! You know, it's times like these where I'm glad my windows still work. On you here for a second, but look at some of the quirks that this car has, and I don't know if it's an 80s thing or what, but if you want to use the windshield wipers, that's not up here on a stalk or on the dashboard somewhere. That's over here on the door. See the switches there, and rather than just regular windshield wipers, they look like that. Also, to use the lights, you have a button over here, or a little switch. You can see that turns I guess your fog lights or whatever on. And then if you actually want to use the headlights, you pull out on this thing and they flip up. Pretty neat. Oh yes, God, that is a great noise. So we got to go to the back of Shane's shop here, not the front, which I think we can access from right here. It's a pretty big puddle though. I don't know if I can make it through that. Okay, all right. This general area?
General area, yeah.
Okay.
Wherever you prefer.
Here we go. Am I gonna clear that picnic table? Yeah, we're good. Another quirk about this car is you can't take the key out unless it's in reverse. Like, reverse is apparently some type of parking gear, I guess, is what you would call it. Let's put these windows up. Oh, we gotta put the keys back in. Never mind. There we go. We're very slow. Very slow there. I'm slightly concerned about that window over there. This one's pretty quick. Put the parking brake on. The parking brake is also a quirk. Oh, the windshield wipers are still on. The parking brake, not like a normal one where, you know, it's down and you pull it up. This one goes back down. So in order to disengage the brake, you got to pull it back up, press the button, put it down, and then to re-engage, pull it up. There you go. Very, very weird. A lot of quirks in the 80s. Pat's gonna be taking me home. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Of course. It's in the...
I guess it's part of the job now that you work for Shane.
Exactly.
Now tell us, how do you like working for Shane, really?
It's actually really fun.
Is it fun?
It's really fun.
Good.
It doesn't even feel like a job. It's that much fun.
Max says the same thing about Andy.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's really fun.
Good. That's a bit of a Volkswagen aficionado.
A little bit. Not a lot. Don't try to quote me like that.
Oh, of course I wish it was stick, dude. It's fucking...
I like
It's auto, but it would be way cooler if it was a manual.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Very clean. 57,000 original miles.
What?
Yep.
For real. Damn, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Just needs a little bit of work, man. First of all, I gotta get it up off the fucking ground. It's way too low.
What? No, dude, it needs to be lowered. What are you talking about?
Fuck you talking about?
Dude,
get out of here
this
talking
thing
about
looks
stance.
lifted.
The fuck out of here, dude. It scrapes everywhere.
No, dude, it is pretty low. I do like the color.
Yeah, look at how fucking low it is. That's low, dude.
I like the color.
I mean, it looks good, but it's too low. Yeah, the color's nice.
Does it sound good, or is it just soft?
I think it's definitely got some type of little catback on it. It sounds pretty good, but it's not loud at all.
Oh yeah, I forgot you bought it in Florida.
Yeah, it's also totally legally registered in Florida. See you soon, Pat.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
I see Pat all the time now that he works for Shane.
Yeah, you will.
And I will get a rematch with that fucking,
That's fine.
this red thing of yours.
You can go from a 40 to doesn't matter, dude.
Fuck you. Fuck your Mazda.
Alright, man.
See you, dude. I want to say I'm sorry the video wasn't too exciting. I'm really kind of unmotivated by the weather. I had a lot of stuff planned. I was going to take the truck out, the Corrado out. It's raining, it's dark. It's just not good. Tomorrow hopefully will be a better day, and then we can go out and do a bunch of fun shit. I promise it will be better, but I figured at least I can do something fun in this upload, and therefore I'm gonna do a Q&A. So far I have just over 1,100 questions, and I posted this thing on Instagram less than 30 minutes ago. So if you would like to participate in the next Q&A, feel free to follow me at. And with that being said, as soon as we get to the top of the list, I will start answering questions, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm not gonna answer the car stuff and the normal stuff. I'm gonna answer questions that most people would probably stay away from, but I want to do it. I want to live on the edge. All right, and here we go. Ben Hug says at StreetSpeed717. Not really a question. He was just the first one, so I figured I would shout you out. It's JB Vlogs. Do you ever plan on getting a GTR? I do not like GTRs. It's a great car, fantastic car actually. Probably the best supercar you can buy. Talking about all around supercar, but I find GTRs to be boring. Cam Duram, when are Corrado mods coming? I just talked about that kind of in the video. I'm not really in a big rush. Minus the cool, could you put a real life price on the Duramax? P.S. I know you'd never sell. Well, I would never sell. You know, that truck means so much to me, you know, on an emotional level, on a sentimental level. I really don't think I could ever sell it. I mean, realistically, talk about a real world price, what is it worth? I would say it's probably worth like 28, 30, 32 maybe. Max T-Check Vids, why are you a trader? Max, get back to work. Here's a good one for the different type of questions I want to do. Are you an organ donor? I am. Salinatra 3, what are your maxes for bench, squat, and deadlift? Well, I'm not like a power lifter. I lift more for fun and for aesthetics, which is why I don't really focus on my legs, which I know people rag on me for, but you know, like I run, so I don't really need like big leg muscles to go out and run. So I wouldn't say like nothing I do lift wise is impressive in any way. My max bench is 305. Squats I don't even do. Last time I was squatting I was like somewhere in the 300s. didn't really do a max. And deadlift, I don't focus on. I stay pretty light on those, like 225. So I'm not exactly a huge lifter. Salty Dalty, really babe. Salty Dalty, will you get a fucking motorcycle? I will not. I've said it many times. I like motorcycles. I think they're cool. I used to have a Gixxer 600. They're fun to ride. But for me, the danger is other people on the road. Even if I don't wreck, I've seen so many accidents where people are on a bike and they get hit by a car. And, you know, it's bad enough if you get into a car accident, but a bike, you just have nothing to protect you. And I know, like, I'm not usually one to even give a shit about, like, safety. You know, I drive that C4 around. That's not really safe. But a motorcycle, it really does scare me. I think, you know, when I was younger, I didn't really have that much to lose. When I had a bike, I was 18 years old, so I didn't really have a ton to lose, if that makes sense, even though I shouldn't have thought that way because, you know, I was a healthy person. I was a happy person. There's nothing wrong with me. So in reality, compared to a lot of people, I did have a lot to lose, but I took it for granted. Now with my life, I don't take things for granted as much, and I worked really hard to have the things I have and to have these cars and you know, getting an even nicer house than what I'm in now and moving up. So I feel like I have a lot to lose. A lot of people asking about the blue truck, and I talked about this before, but basically there's reasons that I can't disclose, I can't talk about. But you can guess that, you know, I have a Duramax, I have a Corvette, I have a new Corvette on the way, I have an old Corvette, I talk about Corvettes, I talk about Chevys. You can guess that there's probably a few reasons why I can get a really good deal on any GM vehicle. And I knew that somebody I knew was looking for a vehicle, and I figured, well, I can get a better deal on this than anybody could possibly get. So why don't I get this truck? And then, you know, I wanted one too. I was thinking about getting a gasser. And I figured, what the hell, I'll buy it. If I don't like it, I can always sell it to this person, right? And I won't lose any money. So when I bought it, I revealed it to the channel, and I was expecting people to say, oh, you know, how could you not get a diesel? How could you get a gasser? And I figured people wouldn't like it. But people really did like it. Everyone was excited about it. And that kind of made me think, maybe I should keep it. Maybe I should get a gasser. So I kept it. You know, I had the truck a little while before I made the reveal video. But in reality, you know, over time I just realized, you know, I really want a diesel and I don't need another truck, so I can just get rid of this one, give it to my buddy, and well, sell it, not give it away. But and then drive my Duramax, and then when I'm ready, get another, you know, L5P Duramax, which I am going to do at some point. Jim 3 Kelly, have you ever crashed the Duramax? I have not. I've ran into many things with it. I've ran over curbs. I've hit walls, backing into buildings. You know, parking signs. I've actually hit a lot with it, which is, and partially because, like, I'm not that bad of a driver. I just don't really care, and sometimes I tap things just for fun. But I've never actually wrecked any of my vehicles. Art Carroll, here's a good one. Let's be controversial. Exactly. What do you think of Trump's military transgender ban? And I've seen a lot of you know, back and forth on this, a lot of different opinions, people in the military. There's of course a Navy SEAL who is transgender, and you know, the dude who is now a woman. You know, I would never say to his face some of the things that people say. You know, for me, that's one of those things where it's no secret that I was more in favor of Trump than Hillary, but that's one of those things I don't really understand the big deal. I mean, yes, the sex change operations are somewhat expensive per person, $8,000, but the amount of money the military spends on just total bullshit, and like the amount of money our government spends on politicians and defense contractors and all these people who don't deserve it. Because trust me, if you're in the military, anybody else who's in the military will tell you, you don't get paid a whole lot and you don't live some luxurious life. So there's so much waste in the military, in defense spending, that, you know, focusing on a couple of $1 million for transgender operations, to me, isn't a good use of, I mean, they're trying to save money, but that's not where you would start. And there are many people who are transgender who you would never even know it, who can serve in the military. So for me, I think banning transgender people from serving is a big mistake. I really do. I think it's a huge mistake. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're not saving a lot of money. You are, you know, he says that we can't afford disruptions in the military. Well, to my knowledge, there aren't any disruptions. You know, there are no disruptions caused by transgender people in the military right now. The only disruption is you now banning them, really, all the time. The thing of it is, a lot of them already have been serving. So now you have a situation where, okay, do we kick these people out? I mean, that to me is where you get a big disruption. And the last one here from the Max Web, this is for my buddy Nick. Would you ever get a Camaro? Why or why not? I won't, and I can't now because he has one. With that being said, I hope that you enjoyed the upload. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you are stopping in for the first time, please subscribe. Take care. Have a great day.